M. Rusciano.
The conspiracy theories are off their tits. And you know I love conspiracy theory. I mean, fact.
And Michael Lucas.
My body did less great things, but it still did the job.
This is Emsolation.
So the algorithms really know me. I feel so seen. I got an Apple News alert about the syphilis outbreak. They really get me.
You're in Emsolation.
Well, hello there. Welcome to Emsolation. My name is Em Rusciano. I'm a writer, a singer, a stand-up comedian, a maximalist power queen. And together with my best friend since I was 11, screenwriter Michael Lucas, I am bringing you this podcast. I'm having a sip of my coffee. Now, we're making a video of the intro this week, just as something new, and also because Michael and I couldn't bring ourselves to turn the camera on last night when we recorded. So I thought, just as a bit of a novelty, we'll make a video of the thing you're listening to right now. So if you go to the socials at Emsolation Podcast, the video will be there for you to peruse. It's not that interesting. It's just my head. I've got a red lip on this week. I've got a sparkly kind of ladybird green long sleeve top on with just a hint of bra, a hint of lace. Who does she think she is with a hint of lace? So yeah, if you want to go and see what goes on in the intros, it's not that interesting, but you know, it's just my time. It's my time with you to sit down and place a hand on your knee and look you in the eye. This is obviously pre-COVID times, this fantasy, and just say hello. I don't know where I'm looking at the camera. Which dot am I looking at? That one. Hello, how you doing? It is a wild old time at the moment. Do you feel it in the air? A lot of this podcast is Michael and I discussing the wild old time. It's just like if you stick your finger in the mouth and put it up, you're just going to be catching a lot of sticky tension, angry, fed up vibes. And I don't know, I've been feeling really unsafe this week and perturbed and unsettled more than unsafe. You know that general feeling of just, it's like someone's churned up everyone's emotions and guts and, oh my God, can you hear that chainsaw? I am close to walking around to my neighbour's house. Can you hear it? Is it? I'm obsessed. I have sensitivity to sound as it is. And they've been going for many hours. I'm just at a point. See what I mean? Quick to anger. So, yeah, both Michael and I, he called me and he said, I feel really weird. I said, I feel really weird too. Let's talk about that. And then I, of course, was in a panic all night thinking, the podcast it's like not very directional this week and it's not snappy. It's more just two people who kind of, you know, absorb a lot of pop culture and a lot of what's going on and also work in the entertainment industry and just feeling a sense of unrest and needing to kind of decompress with each other. So we do that. And the main topics that kind of float around this week, obviously, oh my God, the chainsaw, push on him. I'm now obsessively thinking about it. That's all I can hear. You guys probably can't even hear it. You probably can't even hear the chainsaw. Anyway, the two main things were the Nadia Bartel situation, and we more talk about everyone's reaction to what happened. If you're unaware, last week Nadia Bartel, a video was accidentally posted online by her business partner of her snorting a white substance off a plate and having an illegal lockdown gathering. And since then, it's still in the press. It's just been a wild old ride, and we kind of talk about the reaction to it rather than the act because, as I say, I think that she's been fined. I think she's lost most of her work. I think the punishment fits the crime, and I think everyone needs to move on. That's just my IMO. We also talk about Guy Sebastian blow up, what's been going on for him, and we talk about Cinderella. We do get some joy in there and some happiness. I loved it. Michael wasn't so sure, but I am a better gay man than Michael in every way, except the way that matters, that I'm not a gay man. So we talk about that too. I have been doing a lot of online shopping. Oh my God. I swear I'm on first name basis with the 3 different delivery drivers that I have from the 3 different delivery companies. It's getting out of control. I've now moved on to buying organisational things. So I bought drawer sorters. I bought fridge buckets. So I read somewhere with people with ADHD, if they have the everything facing out, so nothing goes back deep. You've just got to have everything kind of lined up flat across so you can see everything. It's easier. So I, of course, have redone the fridge. But I just kind of move. I like go on this cleaning frenzy. And I clean a room, but then I shuffle all the crap from that room into the room next to it. And it is just this game of shuffle crap. And I want to get to a point where I'm like perfect cleaning symmetry. You know that golden moment, I don't know, I've only achieved it a few times in my career, where you don't have a junk room, you don't have stuff shoved under your bed. Every room is legitimately and honestly clean. You haven't done a shuffle. There's no, like, someone could look under your bed and you'd be completely confident. No skid marks in the toilet. A guest could pop over and they could say, can I use the toilet? And you wouldn't have to suddenly go, oh God, let me have a think about who was last in there or when it was last cleaned. Like, I have to do that all the time. You'd be like, yes, of course. You can even, if you want to have a cup of tea off the bowl, please do. It's stunningly clean. I think perfect cleaning symmetry is something that it's hard to attain, and I definitely can't maintain it. But at the moment, I'm just doing shuffle crap, a big game of shuffle crap, and I really have to stop buying things off the internet. It's become because I'm not really drinking much, and I'm trying to find ways to cope. I'm avoiding working. I have so much work to get done, and I'm not making. I need to be like creating things and having my ideas and getting stuff out there, but I'm not doing that at the moment either. So I really want to focus on that. So yeah, that's what's been going on for me. But I just wanted to, I think because within the podcast, I didn't actually explain what was happening in the Nadia Bartel situation, and that in the radio industry, broadcasting industry, is called good old-fashioned reset, which I did not do. So I've done the reset in the intro. I hope that you're okay. I hope that you're finding some moments of peace and sunshine to yourself. I encourage you to get outside. As always, get out there and look at some fucking nature. That'll help you, I think. It's helping me. I go out every day for a little walk and, my little friggin' rage walk that turns into a little jog trot, and by the end of it, I come home and I'm in a good mood. It really does work, that exercise thing, doesn't it, annoyingly? All right. Well, look, that's all I have for you. I hope you're okay. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. And let's just play the music. Play the music. It's got my Dolly cup. Love Dolly. Oh, I just spilt it. Spilt it everywhere. What? I can't get... Play the music.
M. Rusciano and Michael Lucas. This is Emsolation.
All right.
There will come a point where we just release a podcast that is us maniacally laughing and rocking in a fetal position. We're close to it. I'm just going to narrate. You won't be able to see him. You won't be able to see either of us because we're at the stage where we've thought there's no way we should be recorded in the moving image at the moment.
Nah, there will be no video evidence of today's episode because we are both burnt out husks of humans right now. I am in the active wear that I worked out in yesterday, slept in and worked out in today.
Wow.
That's where I'm at.
I'm in my insulation hoodie, by the way.
Hashtag on brand.
Yeah.
I want it noted I've had showers in between putting the clothes on, but I've just gone back to the same ones regardless.
I've got lockdown smell. I don't know whether that – do you know what I'm talking about? No, I just find in lockdown, I don't know what it is. It's like it's not that I'm not showering, I'm showering. But it's just like I just feel clammy and start to have this weird smell.
Is it like, what is it, like a warm cheese sprinkled in vinegar smell? Is it a musk? Is it like yeasty? What are we dealing with? Like, what's the base notes?
I feel like you were more on track when you were saying the warm cheese, which is disgusting. I don't know what it is. I just don't. But you know what it is? Maybe it's just that I'm spending too much time in a cloistered room with only myself, and I'm like, and I wouldn't normally, it's not broken up with the normal exteriors that would happen.
You've got to do, I do a vibe cleanse of my house every week. I have white sage. I open the windows because we've got 5 people in my house. My house is quite big with high ceilings. So like the vibes can gather up in the roof. And when the vibes gather in the roof, I turn on the ceiling fan. And I always know when I do that, I got to open the windows so they can, think about Ghostbusters where they trap the ghosts in the, what are they called? You'll know, you nerds.
Yeah.
What are what's
those
the
little
machines called?
boxes that they snap it in. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just the only
Like,
word that's
that's
coming to me is ectoplasm, but that's a different phrase in Ghostbusters.
Isn't that ghost jizz? Isn't that ghost jizz?
Pretty much.
Ectoplasm?
That's what Slimer slimed you with.
Anyway, that's what I kind of feel like is happening here when I'm doing that. So I'm 5 people in the one house. The funk is like, it's, and Scott does the spitting and the ears and like, it's just a lot. So I do a sage cleanse. So maybe you just need a little sage in your room. Maybe that's the key.
Okay.
Michael, I rang you today, and I don't normally ring you during the daytime because you never answer because you're working. And I had to ring you because I needed a steadying presence. I needed a captain. I needed someone to place their hand.
She was adrift on the high seas.
I just feel, I have this feeling in my body. I feel like I'm being suffocated by the public's, like seems to be this energy in the air online of people are bored and angry, and if one person does one thing, like it's fucking on. And it doesn't matter the size or scale of the transgression. If enough people decide that it's on, it's fucking on. And
I know. It feels really febrile. I get it in a way. I'm quick to anger. I mean, are you looking back nostalgically to last year's lockdown when it felt like the numbers came down every day and spring was coming and it was kind of like we were going to conquer it and we were going to show them and get back to zero? Here, there's a real Hunger Games atmosphere that's set in.
Yeah. I would go as far as to say Mad Max Thunderdome vibes. I feel like I need Tina to arrive at any moment in that amazing outfit with that hair and sing, we don't need another hero.
Oh,
we don't
mate.
need another hero. We do. We fucking do need a hero.
Tell you
Jesus
what,
Christ.
if they put Tina in charge of our vaccine rollout, Jesus Christ, I'd be ready for it in her steel mesh top.
Oh, steel? Politicians there should be more steel mesh in politics. Actually, now I'm
think of our politicians.
Nah,
ScoMo and Elbow. No mesh. I mean, I don't think the world wants to see them in steel mesh.
No, I mean, I'm really quick to anger too, but I'm also, I guess, maybe
Very
self-aware
tired.
enough to know. Yeah, I'm very tired. But also, I just keep it to myself. Like, I'll sit in front of my laptop going, oh, can you not? And my family can hear me doing it, but I don't feel the need to then like spew that anger everywhere. And everybody seems to be spewing their anger without thinking about it first. And there's been a lot going on. That the first thing, obviously, Nadia Bartel, this situation with her that kind of blew up last week, I honestly read it and went, oh, that's shit. She had people over. I'm not angry about the cocaine. I'm angry about the fact that she had people over. And then I was like, oh, well. And I honestly thought that would be it, Michael.
No.
But there was 4 or 5 articles that I saw on one news website, and that was just one news website, about who her inner circle is, how she's losing endorsement deals, her ex-husband, the fact that she ironically represents a lingerie company called Fine Lines. Like there was just...
I didn't know that. Look, I would have clicked on that article. I'm part of the problem.
Well, yeah, and I was amazed. So I ask you, do you think the Nadia Bartel thing would have been so big if we weren't all at home looking for things to do and be angry at?
Oh, no, of course not. It was the lockdown element that really heightened it. But also, I think we're looking, because everything's so divided as well. And so I think we are looking for something that we can all agree on. That's wrong. And it's indefensible. Like she doesn't have a leg to stand on. She was participating in an illegal act at an illegal party during a lockdown. I mean, there's no black and white about it. And maybe there's sort of a level of relief in that, like, there's no ambiguity here. Let's go. But now I am starting to feel, it's starting to feel icky.
It does. It felt icky for me like a couple of days ago. And I want to categorically state, I think it's shit what she did, but I think she's been fined the $5,500. She's had all her endorsement deals taken away. She's been publicly shamed. It's starting just to feel like that scene in Game of Thrones where Cersei's walking behind the nuns and they're just yelling shame and people are throwing rotten fruit at her.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Shame. And I think she did the crime. I think she's paying the consequences. And I think we all just need to leave Nadia be. I don't feel the need to read the 25 think pieces. And then today, like Guy Sebastian, basically Nadia owes Guy a bunch of thank you flowers because he has pushed her off of the I don't know what we're calling it, the stacks on pedestal.
Yeah.
And
he's on the
he
stocks
is now kind of, well, he is. And then I was quick to anger about his actions. I was. And more so because I am feeling the effects of not being able to tour, and I see how upset and hard it is for my band and my crew. And him and I share a lot of band and crew, if I'm full disclosure. And I know they would have been horrified at his comments. So for those of you who don't know,
it was this thing which you participated in.
I was about to do the research.
Okay, sorry, I always underestimate this. Look at this, faster anger. Okay, let's go.
Excuse me. I did broadcast radio for 15 years. Don't mansplain a reset to me, thank you. I've been saying that to Scott so often. I reckon the last 2 weeks I said, are you mansplaining boiling water to me? Are you mansplaining it? And he's like, what is going on? I said, I'm very angry. He's like, okay, all right, fair enough. So basically, every touring artist that I know, every touring company in this country approached every single person on their roster and said, we want to do a campaign to encourage people to get vaccinated. It's #vaccination. And they have Jimmy Barnes, Amy Shark, Ben Lee, Tim Minchin, they have me, Tom Ballard, just everyone who makes a living from touring. We're all we all signed the agreement and the petition, and we allowed our posters to be used. And I watched the ad first, which is great. And it's not like saying to people, get vaccinated or you're a shit person, da-da-da-da-da. It was just this great video, and it's online, you can watch it, of people enjoying themselves at concerts and festivals, hugging and crying and laughing and drinking and touching and moshing. And it was just a lovely reminder. It was really not inane. It was it didn't have any teeth. It was just nice.
Inoffensive.
Totally inoffensive. And Guy put that up on Facebook. Yeah, Guy put that up on Facebook like we all did, and Instagram. And then he quickly deleted it and then released an apology video saying that he was sorry for supporting the campaign when he didn't really know what was going on. It was published by his social media people without him really understanding it, and he didn't want people to think he was telling them to get vaccinated. But in the same time, he's double vaccinated and said that he's pro-vax. So he's managed to piss off some anti-vaxxers and then also piss off the entire Australian music industry. And now Guy, by trying to appease everyone, has pleased no one. And
I mean, it's really, he was responding to obviously anger that was directed at him, and in the end, he has created so much more anger. I mean, look,
it's not good. It's not good, Michael.
He's got a pretty voice and he likes to go to church, and I feel like this is not where he wants or needs to be. But also, I can't quite believe, I mean, how bad was the vax anger coming at him? It must have been pretty bad to prompt him to do that. But even if
We
it
don't
was, just
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things at play I don't think we know about or have been disclosed or will ever know. I feel like it was a very uncharacteristically strong reaction from Guy because he is kind of the nice guy, and everything to everyone. So I was surprised at him actually retracting it. Like, it must have been some pretty heavy pressure, but I don't know. Like, it's a strange. And look, he'll recover from this. It's okay.
He'll recover, and then one day he'll tell this story, and then Barbara Streisand will segue into the song "Battle Scars," and I look forward to it when he talks about his vax apology, and then goes into these battle scars. For me, his best song.
So this is what's been floating around, and then it's like. I said to Scott, I'm going to have to think about another career. I think I need to, how do we feel about the banana stand I've been threatening to open for the last 20 years? Anytime anything gets too hard, I'm like, I'm quitting everything and I'm going to wear cheesecloth overalls with a Hessian shirt. I'm going to grow my hair longer on my armpit hair. I'm going to stand on the side of the road with no shoes and I'm going to sell bananas.
I would hope you would do it in some sort of Carmen Miranda fruit hat sort of situation.
Oh, yeah, that works. It's just... And I also want to know what percentage of people, the people I care about, by the way, the people that, our community, the people that listen to the podcast, the people that buy tickets to shows, they're the people that matter to me. I don't so much court the media or socialites or the opinions of, influencers or whatever. And so I'm trying to gauge the opinions of the people I actually care about, which is, the G-Pub, our people. Do they care about Nadia Bartel? Do they care about Guy Sebastian? Or am I just in this weird vortex of outrage, of calling out because people are spending way more time online together? Which is it?
I think I think the average person basically has the reaction of, oh, dickhead, and then very quickly followed by, I'm hungry, wonder what's in the fridge. And that's about it. But if you're online, you would assume that people are roiling, and just nonstop fixed on it all the time. That's the great danger of using, social media as your gauge for taking the temperature of the world.
This is the calming balm and salve I want from you. You are on brand right now. Because say that again. Everyone's feeling like, oh my God, people are losing their minds. Everything's crazy at the moment. It's swirly, whirly anger. It's thick air. I'm exhausted. I don't know what I'm doing. And then, Michael, what do you say? You say what? You say what? Say it again.
I would say that the average, and that bit, you want to go back to that bit?
Yeah.
The average person, the
all
intensity.
of that bit, and then and say it in that voice. And
like the Harry Styles sleep thing voice.
And then say other things after it, like expand on it. Okay, go.
The average person's reaction is, oh, dickhead. And then they'll pause and then they'd say, I'm feeling hungry. What's in the fridge? And that you cannot gauge anything from social media. That's just the most screamy people, the loudest people. But there's a great sea of calm people out there who are just wandering along, moderately bored, vaguely wondering when Morning Wars is going to come out. That's the truth.
But what worries me is the shouty people, the shouties, and sometimes I am in that category, by the way.
You can have some volume, for sure.
Yeah. Don't they have the potential to sway the masses who are otherwise going to be calm about it though?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I always felt it in, look at me, I always felt it in the lockdowns, there's protesters and it's always well, how many people do they actually represent? And if you were reading the Herald Sun in our lockdowns, you would assume all of Melbourne is just about to riot. But then the protests would happen and sometimes they would have thousands. But if you were thinking about it, how many people there were that were just sort of calmly going about their business. I mean, I think it's a really hard thing to manage in this modern world. It sounds like I'm about to break into a pop song. But it is that the loudest, angriest voices now are the ones that cut through the most. And so you tend to feel surrounded by anger.
And look, I even said no to interviews about the vaccination thing. I said, you can have my name and I'll post about it online, but I, who am very pro-vaccination, don't want to be a poster person for that situation out of fear for my career. And I have been vocal about encouraging people to get vaccinated, but every time I do that, the shouties find me and threaten me or my family. And it is exhausting and scary to be brave on this issue as a public person with a public platform, because every time I speak about it, vaccination pre-COVID was not a political issue. It was an apolitical thing. It was never something that was used by either side to attack the other. And now, because anti-vaxxers have co-opted words from the pro-choice and birth rights movement, reproductive rights movement, now it's become political. And so I am scared sometimes to talk about getting vaccinated. All I can say to anyone listening now who's vaccine hesitant, I'm vaccinated. My children are booked in to be vaccinated. My parents are vaccinated. The people I love most in the world, including myself, we have done this, and I can't do anything more than that. And I think and the idea that I'm being paid by the government to say that is just, that's the one that makes me wild, Michael. I get accused of cashing those checks from the Andrews government. Fuck, I have applied for so many grants from him for cancelling my fucking shows. I can't get a red cent. Where am I going?
Checks from two grand organisations alone, Haagen-Dazs and Disney. And you're transparent about it. You're very clear. It'll say sponsored post. And frankly, the Scott Morrison government is off-brand, even if they did approach.
Oh, Scott Morrison. Hasn't he had a doozy?
Day. Yeah, we're angry about that too. It's funny, isn't it? I feel like I can't even properly get angry about stuff that he does anymore. And this one really was, it was like, that is galling. And yet I couldn't even.
What did he do?
He got some sort of exemption to go to Canberra on Father's Day. Like no one else can go see their families. But
I'll go to Sydney. Are his family in Sydney or Canberra?
This is well researched.
Where is he? I don't know. I'm pretty sure at any rate, I think he flew to Sydney from Canberra without having to do the 14 days. Both cities are in lockdown.
Trip to Sydney, yes, you're right. Yes, over Father's Day during COVID on private jet.
And there are people obviously there are mothers who have been separated from sons.
Yes.
Yeah, like and no one is denying that Scott Morrison shouldn't see his kids, but there's lots of other people who missed out on seeing their kids because they're not the Prime Minister. So, and then he put up a photo of him and his kids together that hadn't the photo been from a memorial for teenagers who have been killed in a drunk driving incident. Like I think, and then when he's had a few own goals. But you're right, I'm so fatigued on everything else that Scott Morrison's exploits, he's become a bit like Kyle Sandilands to me. You know, like you just hear stuff. Like I think I read a headline about Kyle talking about the Paralympics and not in great terms or something. I didn't read the article. I don't want to. And I was just like, oh yeah, that's on brand for him. Sure. And so when I read this stuff about ScoMo now, which is the danger, isn't it? I'm like, yeah, that's about right.
He's like Kyle Sandilands, but without the mediating force of Jackie O. He's just got Peter Dutton and it doesn't work.
Doesn't work. Was there a lip spill today in Melbourne?
Yes, Matthew Guy is back.
Nomi's out.
I know. And Michael O'Brien, for those who don't follow it in the intricate detail, I mean, that was a shit job. He had to just, I mean, I still don't think he did it very well. but yeah, it was really hard to know how to play it during the lockdowns. And so he would just go out and the thing was just criticize anything he could. And it kind of wasn't the tone that anyone wanted. But what else was he going to do? Anyway, it all led to nothing in the end.
God. So there's a new Liberal leader. Who is it?
It was one of the old ones, Matthew Guy. He's been up there and lost before. And unfortunately it was timed in with Dan did a big, fiery, powerful speech about Victoria not getting full Pfizer allocations today. So he would, he's been able to do the big clickbaity, big yelly speech to Canberra. And so it's already not a good day one for Matthew Guy because all he can really say is, we agree.
Yeah, what he said. Give us the Pfizer. Give us the Pfizer. We want the Pfizer.
I know, it's literally like he's come out the gates and it's the one topic that's impossible really for a state opposition to have an alternate view on. Like, what can you say? We respect Sydney getting Melbourne's. I mean, it doesn't work. He's just got to go, yep, what Dan said.
All right, let's move off this. I guess I wanted to talk to you about it because generally if I'm feeling a certain way, a lot of other people are feeling that way. That makes no sense. Do you know what I mean? Like in case there are a few people feeling as uneasy and as unnerved as I am, I wanted to just reassure everyone that, I don't know, we're all thinking about it, but I don't think we're thinking about it as much as people think we're thinking about it.
And we're also just living in this terrain where, like, I am legitimately nostalgic for the 2020 pandemic because there was always, it just felt like there was hope and community spirit and it's really drained away. Really
I agree.
has.
It's just become this scrappy zombie apocalypse now. It's just every woman, man, child for themselves.
And it used to be that we were like sitting there going, we will get to COVID zero and we will be back in the cafes, and then we did it, and now we realise that's now gone. We will hopefully get to a vaccination rate which will be pretty good, but we'll still have to do a whole lot of other measures and life will never quite be the same. But it'll get better. We can't quite tell you when.
I've been rewatching Schitt's Creek and I'll just watch like someone walk down a street with another person not wearing a mask and then stop at someone's house and talk to them while they load their car with shopping. And I said to Chella, my daughter, last night, oh my God, remember when you would just do that? Like, it's just the weirdest, most inane stuff that I miss.
Oh, hello, you. I'm film and television's Moira Rose. Won't you join me for a little stroll through the slice of paradise I like to call the town where I currently am?
I tried to send you this, but you couldn't click on it. It was the opening night of the first Broadway show back, and it was Waitress. And it was just, the thing about it that was so moving was like they just did the announcement of turn off your phones and everyone gave it a standing ovation. And then they sat down and then it just showed that electrifying moment when the lights went off and the orchestra started. And again, everyone just stood up and gave a standing ovation. And I started crying. You would have been beside yourself. You would have needed to, rock in a fetal position.
I already welled up when you said first Broadway show back. Like, I already got tears in my eyes just thinking about, I had that moment this year, which is crazy, in March of, after a year and a half off, walking out onto the stage of the Sydney Mime Music Bowl in front of 5,000 people and feeling totally alive and electrified and grateful, and like it's the first time ever you walk out on stage and it's gone again. But I know that exquisite feeling intimately, and I want it again so much. God. Anyway.
On to happier news. Cinderella.
Yeah, we're gonna go away. We've got to leave a little spot here, as always. We'll gather and come back, and we're going to talk about Cinderella, the live action remake on Amazon Prime.
M. Rusciano and Michael Lucas. This is Emsolation.
Okay. Cinderella. I watched it on Saturday with my entire family, although Scott walked out halfway through. And I enjoyed it. There, I said it.
No, I'm not begrudging you that. I'm shocked to say that in this scenario, I'm more closely aligned with Scott than you. What does it mean?
This is the remake. So in this retelling, Camila Cabello plays Cinderella, and basically she wants a career, not a man. And when she goes to the ball, it's not to like fall in love, it's to network. So it was very much, it's like Cinderella #girl boss, basically. And so she was kind of there, and Idina Menzel, who did I just say Idina? Yeah. I was just thinking about how
John Travolta said it.
John Travolta.
Adele Nazim.
The wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
I don't know. I'm going to do it. Idina Menzel. She plays the wicked stepmother, which is great. And, Billy Porter plays the fabulous godmother. Fabulous.
Fairy godmother. Oh, well,
no, they don't use the word fairy because he's gay and negative connotations. Anyway, Minnie Driver's in it as the prince's mother, and she's heaven. She was probably my favourite part about this whole movie was Billy Porter's brief appearance and him telling James Corden, that's enough, you need to go. That got a standing ovation in my house. Talk about Broadway's playback when Billy Porter tells Mouse fucking Corden time to go.
You can truly be not you but me. Skipping about now, I can drop a tick up and hey, yo! It's time to go.
We all stood and we all applauded. It was so good.
Minnie Driver is going into this brilliant age where she's happy to play sort of like skinny middle-aged bitches. And she is spectacular.
I agree.
She's
got
so great in
Hacks.
so amazing
Yep.
at sort of high status quips and she's brilliant.
Yeah. And she can sing. Who knew?
Well, she was in Phantom of the Opera, that brilliant musical adaptation of the Broadway show. She played Carlotta in that, so she was doing full soprano.
Well, she can sing. You can tell. Pierce Brosnan is there. He was neither here nor there. The person who played the prince was some Shawn Mendes wannabe. I don't really care for him, but James Corden was there.
The music was it was mashups. Mashups did it. We began with Rhythm Nation. I mean,
yeah, that was so good, and it had Madonna, it had Ed Sheeran, it's so many amazing hits. I just want to know what the music budget was. I'm obsessed because, oh my God, it would have been a fortune. So yeah, they do 90s pop covers, reworked, which I love. What else? Costuming wasn't great.
I would say that interestingly, when I was watching it, one thing that I was thinking was, hats off to Baz Luhrmann because he does high camp, but he does it with a level of like attention to detail and a sort of precision in there that really makes it like the look of Moulin Rouge is like crazy over the top and everything like that, but it is very sort of shrewdly designed and makes a big impact on you. There was something that was a bit costume store about everything about this. But you know what? If I had had just half a gin more, I would have been there. I would have been there.
Oh yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you are looking for something that requires minimal brain cells and you can sing along to and it's not offensive, the kids can watch it with you. You see James Corden get slapped down in a sassy way, worth the price of admission. I say do it. Do the Cinderella. The storyline was terrible. It made no sense. None. And it was trying to be all things. It was very clumsily self-aware. There was one moment where Billy Porter says to her, "You wanted to go to the ball," and Cinderella goes, "Yeah, I was just crying and singing about it." That's a great line.
Yeah. Well, it's written by Kay Cannon, who she wrote Pitch
Glee.
Perfect, and
Glee? Did he write any of Glee? No, I must be thinking of Pitch Perfect. You're right.
And Blockers, which is a pretty funny movie in some places.
Yeah,
that sounded so qualified, didn't it? What a evil person I am.
I believe you.
Yeah, a talent, a real witty, brilliant, funny.
It was
writer.
zippy. It was zippy. There was a few weird, bit too much, trying too hard to get the young kids, but ultimately I really liked it.
But don't you think it's the case of that kind of entertainment works at the moment? It's like how The Voice is kicking ass at the moment, and it's the equivalent of like. When you look back at what people were making and watching back in the Depression 100 years ago, it was all like 42nd Street, and that's what people want. They just don't want any semblance of their real lives at all. And so Cinderella, what could be better? A Cinderella where they're singing 90s pop standards.
Oh, yeah, heaven. And can I tell you, I am grateful to the pandemic being ignored by television because I thought for a while I'd want to watch it. I'd want to see it reflected because that's my lived experience. But I am so grateful that everyone's pretending like there's no COVID in TV land.
Well, remember, we did this is how long the show has been going now. We did a little reach out on this very podcast saying whether I should write the pandemic in, and it was overwhelmingly yes that I should at the early stage. But then we didn't because the network said no, and I hate to credit it, but I think they were right. And subsequently, I've got quite a few messages from people going, I'm watching it now. I'm so glad it doesn't have COVID.
Oh, I love it. And it's almost like health porn. So it's like this oh my God, like I straight away I'm like, they just hugged. They hugged, hello, in public, in front of people with no mask and no hand sanitizer. This is wild television. Like it's this weird voice. I love it. I love living my pre-COVID existence through television now. So I'm watching so much television at the moment because I'm not sleeping at all. Everything is getting to me. And I'm like, I said to myself, I'm going to have the week off social media. I'm not going to be online. But I'm like, that lasted an hour.
Yeah.
Nothing. My shopping has reached fever pitch. Do you know what I bought? I bought
the brass palm tree lamp. No, not yet.
No. I don't. When I go online shopping to justify it, I just buy lots of shitty, cheap things. And when you add up all the shitty, cheap things, I probably could have bought the palm tree lamp 10 times over by now. Mm-hmm. Just like I went and I bought photography backdrops, like green screens and stuff. Because I was trying to take photos yesterday and all I've got is like one pink wall and I'm sick of it. So I got online and I bought green screens. So my child can put like the Eiffel Tower behind me or something. And then I'm like, well, if I'm going to buy a green screen, I probably need the structure that goes around. If you're going to buy the structure, you probably need the bulldog clips. I'll probably need some of those soft focus lights. I have more lights than I think the Amazon Prime production of Cinderella did in my house. And it's just like...
She's putting in a bid to take over production of the latest Marvel movie. She's got the studio floor space and the electrics.
God. We don't have the internet though. We don't have the Wi-Fi to do that. We know CGI. We know sending of files to see if things look realistic. Not from my house, mate. Not if you want it that day. Oh my God. I have to. It's getting ridiculous. I get the little thrill, but because Australia Post had 4 days off of, I've got 5 different apps tracking parcels, and every time now I've got like sensitivity to like any time I hear a truck beeping noise or if the dog barks, I'm straight at the door. Is that a package? And Scott's getting really cranky with the amount of boxes, so now I have to I've now kind of sussed out what time of days each delivery service comes. So I've got to kind of meet the guys at the top of the hill, like we're doing a drug deal. And then I get the stuff out of the boxes quickly and I crash the boxes. Like, this is what I've become. And I'll buy what I want. I'm spending the money I earn. Scott's not angry about the money I never have to ask permission to buy myself anything. He buys what he wants. I buy what I want. He's more worried about the environment. So he gets really mad about the boxes and the rubbish.
Look, I respect it.
Well, it's I recycle it.
I'm sure.
Chop it up. It goes in the boxes. But yeah, for me, this particular block of lockdown has just been shopping. Stock, I bought more tracksuit pants today. How many pairs of tracksuit pants am I supposed to need?
God, that has not been the same for me. I'm famously not into shopping and I can't even remember.
Can you just send me your card and I'll buy stuff for you guys?
You've just said you're in a free fall of addiction. I'm not going to send you my card. Next thing I know, it'll be beep, and there'll be a ton of photography equipment I don't want.
It's just dumb. I'm just buying dumb stuff to make me feel better. It's nothing.
There is so much in my house that's purchased by you anyway. I'm looking at a light that's purchased by you. There's ornaments all around that come from you, books. It's just you've met your urges have filled not only your own house. It's like
I know. Mine. I'm about to clock the decorating at my place here. So I sent you a very threatening text message last week. It's like, your house is next.
It was. It really was. Yeah. It was 4 words and there was something just a little bit chilling about them. But the worst thing is it was generosity. But also, your house is next.
Your house is next.
She's got energy to spare.
traced the call. It's coming from inside the house. A squad car's on the way over there right now. Just get out of that house.
All right. Well, I think we've got through. I'm glad we did it like this. I just wanted it to be, I don't know.
I hope we
out.
rebound next week. I think we will.
We will. We just couldn't shoot a video. You should see the state I'm in right now. Like, you can hear it in our voices.
Oh, it's the
like
end
you.
of October. I mean, Jesus Christ, we've just crawled into September. It still feels so long away.
I know. It really does. Shit. It's fine. Next week we'll bounce back, but we just needed a bit of a reset week this week. No video. I couldn't even put a lip on sauce, guys. All right. How's Newsreader going before you go?
Oh, very well. Very well, thank you. Yeah, no, it was exciting. It was, and thank you to everyone that tweets and everything like that, because we always trend and it's great. And people are the person that I'm so happy that everyone's loving is Mark Downey. The amount of Mark Downey content that I get every week, I love it so much. People finding these throwback images of her in the 80s when she was doing like the SBS lady on Fast Forward. Yeah, complete heaven.
It's because she's so crisp.
I know.
It's a sharp edge to her acting that is her signature. It's just that. And what do you mean by that? Like everything
she's so
has
good.
this
She knows a
beautiful-
Turak, bitch. She knows it in and inside out. I'm so happy for her.
She's so great. I'm good. And are we getting a waft, a snifter, a possibility? Are there any meetings happening about a season 2?
Yeah, there might be.
What do you think?
The other disturbing thing was someone sending through the thing saying that evidently I've cast someone who's a dead ringer for your dad as the love interest. That took me down a path.
true.
And then you backed it up and said correct. So Chai Hansen, who plays Tim with a mustache and curly black hair, I said, when it was sent through, I just thought, oh, that's not Vincey, until M pulled out the throwback shot of Vincey. And it appears I've written a gay love story with Vince Ronciano at the centre of it.
And you're based on the main character.
Okay,
so
look, let's stop. Beep. Let's not think about this anymore.
Well, it's very exciting. So we're officially saying that there could be the possibility of a possibility that there
It's an
might
official
be a season
maybe.
2.
It's not
I'll
off
take
the
it.
table.
You heard it here first, guys. Heard it here first. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks. Bye.
Have a good week. Bye.
This is Emsolation.
Well, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. I ummed and ahed over whether we needed to re-record the whole thing. But I don't know. I always want this podcast to be very honest and just feel like you're sitting with Michael and I want you to feel like you've got a companion, and I want you to feel like we're being truthful, and, you know, I make sure it's beautifully produced, but I also want it to be loose and elastic in the middle. So, you know, that's the beauty of having this Spotify deal and having them not interfere at all. I am truly making something totally authentic and raw to myself and to, obviously, an extent, Michael. So I hope that it was okay with you this week, that it was just a little bit more of like, oh, God, what's going on? You know, some weeks we're right on. Some weeks we have like theme songs, and I've done a whole bunch of preparation. But I just felt a need this week to sit with my best friend and have you guys sit with us and all hold hands, look at each other and go, fuck, what's going on? I'm really, really feeling anxious at the moment. My anxiety is at fever pitch, and I can't tell you why. And I just think it's the general sense of uncertainty. And as I sit down to write a whole new, brand new stand-up show, I am finding myself feeling a bit hopeless about it because I don't know if I'm going to get to do it. But I need to start making again, as I said in the intro, and I'm really going to try and honour that this week. I have so much in me. I have so many ideas of things I want to make and do, and I realise that I shuttle that down because it seemed hopeless. But often the joy and the light comes from the genesis of the idea and the creativity and the planning. I much prefer planning an outfit and getting ready and doing it all than going to the event. Like, I'm much prefer the getting ready process and the anticipation and the excitement. So I need to busy myself in the anticipation and excitement of making stuff again. That's what I need to do, I think, because I've been spending way too much time on my phone. Oh my God. Can I tell you, I'm going to be honest, my Scream report gave me 6 hours a day. I don't know how I'm fitting those 6 hours in. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're happening between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. But I got to get that down. I got to get that shit down. My phone has become a part-time job. Shit. 7 times 6. Oh, what's that? 42? Is that 7 times 6? Oh, you know, I'm not good at maths. That's a full-time job. Oh my God, that's a full-time job. Go check. What's your screen times? What is it? Go on, be honest. Go and check it out. Let me know. Make me feel better or worse, possibly. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm going to do. And I just love this show and this podcast so much. And I know I say it every week, but I love that you guys get it, that so many thousands of you are involved and in the community and really see us and understand what we're doing and making. And it's just, I can't tell you how much making Emsolation has kept me going. And everyone's really happy with how it's going, and I often feel like weird about, wow, this is going too well. I wait for the fuckery to come, you know. I'm waiting. I just want to enjoy this for what it is. It's like I'm enjoying it too much. It's doing too well. It's too easy. What's going to happen? But maybe this is what happens when you actually find the thing you meant to do and you're doing it. Maybe this is it. Maybe I'm here. Anyway, as always, please share our podcast with your friends and family if you think they'd like us, if you think they need a companion at the moment, that if they need two, you know, mates like Michael and I always back you guys in over anything else. Best advertising is the people that listen and love us. So please share us, post us on your socials, actually copy and paste an ep and send it to your friends. Make sure you sign up to our mailing list. Ben, Giggling Ben, my right-hand man, my executive producer, puts together a beautiful companion to the ep each week that has links to things we talk about, recommendations for books, recommendations for podcasts, TV shows, movies. Please go and sign up. There's a link over at the Emsolation Podcast, and follow the Emsolation Podcast Instagram, which my daughter runs. And if you're not following us there, you're only getting half the story at Emsolation Podcast. That's all I have to say for this week. Thanks for being here. I hope the next 7 days are okay for you. And I've got some exciting little things coming up for you all. Just thinking about it, I've just lined up a very high-profile guest, one of my favourite females, one of my favourite Australian females in the television industry. I respect her so much. I love her so much. She'd be easily in the top 5 most recognised Australian women, I think, easily. So I've lined her up. She's going to be a guest. It's very exciting. Okay. Oh, guess whose coffee's kicked in? I better not agree to anything. Whenever I have a coffee, I start agreeing to things, and then when the coffee wears off and I see what I've agreed to, I hate caffeinated M. I hate it. All right, gang. Have a wonderful week. Thanks for being here. Bye. Oh my God, the chainsaw stopped. Guys, the chainsaw stopped. Oh, listen to that bliss. Thank God. Okay, bye.
Emsolation with Em Rusciano is a Spotify exclusive podcast hosted by Em Rusciano with Michael Lucas. Executive produced by Benjamin Wasley. Produced by Em Rusciano. Edited by Ezekiel Fan at Entente Music. With videos by Liam O'Brien. Socials by Marcella Rusciano Barrow. With assistance from Jem Evans and Georgia Watts. Plus occasional technical wizardry, wine and coffee from Em's dad Vince. Get more Emsolation by following the Emsolation Podcast on Instagram, where you can also sign up for our weekly newsletter. You can join other Emsolators at the Emsolation group on Facebook. The answer is Harry Styles. If you love what we do, share this podcast with a friend and make sure you're following us on the Spotify app. Thanks for taking time out to listen to this week's episode, and we look forward to chatting with you again soon.